On the pod today, we have Yvonne Ben, founder of the Kscope. And if you don't know who Yvonne is, then what are you doing?
Hi, Nina. Thank you so much for the hype.
How are you? How's your weekend? How's everything going?
Everything is going great. My weekend was amazing. Of course, I had food. You know the drill. You know the drill.
Love that. Food. I know even food, fashion, faith.
Come on.
Come on, FFF.
Okay, I love it.
I'm screaming. You recently had your Kscope picnic in London, Ontario. You know what I was thinking when I saw London? Because I live in Cambridge now. So I was like, I live in Cambridge. And I was like, London, that's not far.
Down the street. It's not. Like, it's down the street for you. Like,
no, it's not. Oh, that's what I realized quickly.
Really?
It was like over an hour drive.
Oh.
And I was like, I thought I could like quickly.
Right, show up. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's not you. Like, I thought it was down the street. Like, I'm like, those Tri-Cities are so far from each other.
Listen.
It's ridiculous.
And the way people move sometimes, like, oh, I'm in Cambridge. I'm going to be at the event. I mean, what event? Like, how are you going to get there?
It's
far. People just because sometimes I used to think it's super close because of how people were making those, travels. But it's really far. Thank you for letting me.
Maybe you should have a Cambridge one next.
That's what. Listen, you said it, and I was thinking it. So I see there's connection.
An alignment.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, because I definitely want to talk more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a bit about Kscope, the Kscope.
Right.
What you're doing there. You're doing great things. But like, tell us, give us some tea.
Of course. I love brewing tea. No, but it's good that you called it Kscope. I feel like everyone just knows it as, Kscope now. The Kscope is a platform for you to experience Africa locally. We create African experiences. We want to make sure that you stay connected to your culture by finding businesses in your area and then building an experience out of it. We've also found events, like we curate events as well that are happening in the city. So if you're looking for a place to hang out on the weekends or looking for an event to up your career development plans, we got you. So Black-led and African-led, we are your connect.
They're your plug.
Yeah.
But you know what I really love? Because I think I remember when we connected 2020, 2021, I think. And you were telling me that you started it when you were living in Sudbury.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How do you remember
Sudbury.
that?
I was living in Ottawa and I'd gone to Sudbury only once. And it was like, this is the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
Like, no shade, but like.
It is.
Why? Like, how was that for you as a Black person, as a Nigerian living in the most widest part of the city?
You know what? Honestly, I think it goes to show how much the passion is in you, right? Because if there really wasn't a lot, but I was able to leverage what I had and make the most of it and actually start what is called Kscope today, it just goes to show that if you're passionate about something, you would go far. So actually, in Nigeria, I've been doing the African print thing for.
Really?
Listen, it was actually someone who reminded me that, Yvonne, like, you always used to wear African print.
I had to wear print today because I was like,
listen. When I saw you, I said, okay. She's
I had to come
theme.
on brand. Like, I was like, Yvonne is definitely wearing print today. Like, is there a jacket? Is there a two-piece? A skirt? Like,
listen, I'm glad. I'm happy. I love that. So when I got to Sudbury for school, university, I would always wear my African print to church, just like a summary of how it started. And I would like take pictures of my African outfits and I'll post it on the gram. Right back then, Instagram had those like very interesting filters.
I know the ones. I know the halos.
Oh my God. I'm screaming. I'm so sorry for screaming. But listen to me. I was posting and I look back at some of those pictures and I'm like, security, I'd like to report a fashion offense because what is she wearing? But I was
it wasn't style then.
Right.
History, vintage.
Listen, I would take that vintage. Yes. So I had done all of that and then I grew an audience on Instagram and then I had also created a blog where I would showcase like people's styles because I'm like, okay, I don't want to be the only one. Then I had joined a couple of African groups and we were just looking forward to like events. Then one day someone tells me from the group that, hey, do you know an African store is opening in Sudbury, Ontario. I said, shut the front door. You're lying. They're like, yes.
There's an African store in Sudbury?
Listen. But then what had happened was, because before we actually used to come to Toronto to get our African groceries.
Sudbury to stop.
For hours. We actually still, like, if someone was going, we'd say, hey, can you get stuff? We actually like put money together. But when the African store opened up in Sudbury, I was the town crier. Like, for those who are not Nigerian, town crier is the person in the village who goes around.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm telling everybody and their parent about it. So I had put it on my blog that there's an African grocery store opening up. I put how to get there because we're all students. Like, you could take the bus and all of that. And then CBC Radio reaches out to me. Like, hey, we saw your blog post about this and would love to interview you about the African store. Oh. And it's still online. If you Google, you probably see.
I need to watch that.
It was actually radio, so it's fine.
Oh, okay, listen.
Listen to it. And then and someone had also reached out to me to say, hey, we have a business. They were in Toronto at the time. They're like, we have a business and we would love to advertise to your audience because your audience is our customer base. That's how the whole idea of the business started, like, brewing in my mind. And then also African Fashion Week had reached out. I got nominated for African Fashion Blog of the Year. So a lot of things were happening with this blog that I started just as a way for me to express like my fashion and also talk about what's happening in the African community in Sudbury, Ontario. So yeah, like, I guess to summarize, I was able to just use what I had and also, make the most of the network that I had at the time. And then just being sure I was at the forefront. There was even a Caribbean restaurant that opened up. And listen, that video is still on YouTube and is getting numbers. And I hope they're still there.
True, because COVID.
Listen to me. So yeah, like, I guess that's a all over the place summary.
The vision was there.
Exactly.
The signs were there. The passion was there. Everything was like click, click, click.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I love that.
Thank you.
What happened when you moved out of Sudbury? Because it sounds like you had a community in Sudbury.
Right. No, honestly, I think this is another thing too. A lot of people don't also know is I actually went to school for the most science subject you would listen.
I always thought like media.
You better give me my media degree.
At this point.
Funny story, I actually worked for the international students department because I was so into communications. I was so into everything. And then, but I felt like I thought they knew what I was doing.
Right.
And they did. I think it was just one time I was getting introduced and they're like, oh, meet Yvonne. Yvonne is in the communications program at Laurentian. I'm like, I'm in the who? I'm in the what?
I would have introduced you that way because I'm just like, you're definitely in communication.
It's giving
media.
Yeah.
Like,
hello, everyone.
You're tuned into.
Like, honestly, I completely agree with you. But I went to school for biomedical biology. I know it's giving biomedical biology.
It's giving women in STEM.
Right?
Excuse me.
It's giving I found my way back to tech.
Screaming. Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, I know.
Because you work in finance right now or
I work in cybersecurity right now. Honestly, I've worn a lot of hats and heels. Oh, right.
Excuse me.
Fashion as well as like, tech. But I went to school for biomed and then towards the ending, I was like, you know what I really, really want. And well, my parents wanted me to become a doctor. Right. But with time, really, oh my gosh, I feel like one thing I love about just the understanding that they have is that they want us to get into a field that is lucrative when it comes to, money. Yeah. Which, and I don't like, I don't like hate on that. I love that. I think what had happened was I was like, you know what, I'm really really, really passionate about communications. Yeah. And then I was telling a friend of mine that, I don't know, I would have to talk the patient to health when I became if I became a doctor. I would just be talking to them. Like, are you better now? Okay, no,
you haven't done anything. But like, is my voice?
Yeah, is my voice? Yeah. Like, how do you feel after this conversation? Yeah. No, but I think that's one thing about passion. If you're very excited about something, if you're very passionate about something, and if you have the drive, because we've been going on for a while now. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Like when people talk to me about it, and I'm like, whoa, that's been a while. Mm-hmm. And we've been like, changing. And also very most importantly, the grace of God.
100%.
Because, girl.
100%. She said, let me take a moment.
Let me take a moment
to acknowledge, you know,
like honestly. So yeah, like we've owned market share for a while when it comes to like, you know, all things African in Toronto. And we're now looking to, you know, go to other cities like London, maybe Cambridge.
Hopefully. Because you know what, to be fair, when I moved to Cambridge in September last year.
Okay.
I remember for like a week, 2 weeks, I didn't see any Black people. I was so sad.
Oh, no.
You don't understand. I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, listen, I haven't seen any Black person since I moved here. And then maybe the third week or so, I was in the elevator in my building and then I see a Black man. The way I almost hugged him, he had a dog though. So I was just like,
okay, like
I was like, yeah. I was like, and then we made eye contact. We were like, I see you.
Like, oh my gosh, you
it's
exist?
the quietest city. Do you know what I did?
Oh my gosh, I do know that there's a huge Nigerian community there though.
Guess where I found them? I was telling my brother, I was like, listen, I'm going to go find a Redeemed Church because I know if there's something I'm going to find there, it's Nigerians. Okay. At least if there are no Nigerians, there will be Caribbeans or like some other someone that looks like me. And I went there and it was the best experience. Like it felt like I was in a Nigerian church. You know, like nowadays, like a lot of churches are like trying to be Caucasian.
Yeah, no, there's like a mix. Like this, they're trying to cater to.
But this church, they were singing songs I hadn't heard since I left Nigeria.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, wait, you guys are here? Like, I almost shed tears. Like, I almost shed tears at church. I'm just like, I haven't seen Black people. And after then, I started saying more. But I was like, okay, this is the key to unlock the Black experience in Cambridge.
No, bye. Goodbye. She said, this is the key.
But no, like, I think there's like, it's not, when people think about Toronto, they're like, oh, it's a diverse city. The truth is that Toronto is too expensive for diversity. We're moving out to other cities. Right. You're right to expand to other cities beyond the GTA. But tell me about that still.
The expansion piece. I think for me, the way I've always like done business with Kscope is we've sort of realized that Africans are everywhere, right? And then we want to cater to the Africans that are everywhere. Now in Toronto, after building the community, we said, okay, you know what? Our goal is to make sure that they thrive wherever they are. If you're a business owner, you're thriving in the marketplace. If you're a Black professional, you're thriving in the job market, or you're thriving in your job currently. If you are a student, you're thriving, you know, in school. So that was sort of like our mission to make sure that every African is thriving wherever they find themselves. So, our goal to expand was, you know, when we tested it out with London, I had gone to visit and a friend of mine was like, you know what, Yvonne, you should bring the Kscope picnic to London, Ontario. She said it in passing. And I thought to myself, really? Why do you, are there lots of Africans here? She's like, yeah, you know, I know a few people. Then I was like, you know what, let's do it. Literally, I was like, let's try it out. The picnic itself, because you can't really do a lot of things if it's not easy to replicate. So with the picnic, it's a very easy format we have in place. And we're like, you know what, we can do this. Let's test it out. Let's see. And it was sort of like a test because everyone was like, why London?
Yeah,
why
I was like, London?
They're like, wink, wink. Is this
not like, Waterloo, Kitchener? You know, it's just like
not Ottawa,
side eye.
It's like, why London? So I was like, you know what, let's try it out. And then another thing too was I wanted to see how much brand power we have. Because like, you know, you moved from Toronto too. So you know Kscope. So it's more likely that you're like, okay, let's do an event, a Kscope event, because you've experienced the Kscope, you know, an event, a Kscope event. So after, you know, speaking to her, I was like, you know what, let's look at what the market looks like. Like what's the...
What are the people saying?
The demography, I think. English. So we were looking at the students, like, I think a huge percentage of the Black population there are students because they have the school there.
Yeah, they do.
Professionals, they have professionals, but most of them work. Like, we just had to understand the landscape. That's what I, you know, did. Then after that, we we started, put out the post, like who, if you'd like to come out. And then we saw like different networks in the community to cater to those group of people. We saw Ivy Business School, and they would cater to the students. We saw the Black Student Union in Western. They would cater to the students as well. So we had to look for what kind of people, what part of the Black population are we going to be serving? What do they need help with? We looked at job boards. We looked at business centers. We're like, okay, let's empower them by connecting them to these people. So it was a very quick, why do we have the picnic for people to network in a very like chill way, and then to connect them to resources. So we said, okay, you know what? Let's build the experience. In a couple of weeks, a very good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, and then he connected us to the location. The next thing, I built out the whole follow-up experience where if you register, you get an email, all of that. So the registration piece. And then we, in a matter of weeks, we spoke to different like people, like the Ivy Association, Small Business Center, economy. Like we're just speaking to people very quickly to say, hey, would you be willing to just share some information to cater to this group of people? And we're getting a lot of feedback. We even spoke to the City of London as well. So it's amazing how things were happening. I was like, wait, what? And someone even had said something. Someone said something like, who do you guys really know here? I said, I'm asking myself the same question. Who do we really know here? But it goes to show that when we put the event out, we had reached and exceeded our goal because everyone.
Yeah, you had to extend.
So we saw that not only was the initiative like a good one, but people actually were in London, Ontario, and people actually wanted to bring their friends.
Hungry.
They were like, I need
something. We're starving out there. Like people only feed the GTA. That's the problem. That's why I'm always in Toronto every other day. Like we're starving.
I was shocked when you said I live in Cambridge. I'm like, you live in Cambridge?
I'm always in Toronto, but I've been there for like almost a year now.
It's okay. Like, I mean, you can still stay with us. Like,
no, come that way.
Listen, I would love, I actually should plan something, and it might be something in the works. Wink, wink.
Love it.
Yeah. So long story short, it was more of a test with expanding to London. And now we're looking at just using the picnic as an opportunity to go into different cities, empower the community there, and then we would look for ways to serve them right afterwards. It's not really, I will not advise anyone to go this route. This is my route.
This is a passionate route.
This is the passionate route. Exactly. It's not very advice centered where it's like, okay, what's the follow through? It's more like I was, testing and it's the agile method where you're like testing and you're innovating as you go.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
That's how Kscope has been, and everyone knows this. That's why I always tell people like, without God, really and truly, we really wouldn't be here. Exactly. Like my business, the foundation of it is God, because if you ask me, how many pages is your business plan? I said, girl.
Child, you know what? Like, it's funny you bring that up because I'm part of a business cohort program right now.
Okay, nice.
And they're like giving all these bus terms like, what's your business plan? Have you defined? And I'm like, I hear you, but like my business plan is passion.
Exactly.
How do I explain to you that? Right.
No, but there are people who can help you explain that.
And they've been helping.
That's amazing.
Fair. They've been helping. Because at first, when I started SoPlugged, I was like, we're unconventional. Like, we don't really fit into that.
Exactly.
But like attending this program has really helped me like widen my lens to say, okay, yeah, you're doing this stuff because you're passionate about buying Black, supporting Black entrepreneurs. But really, there's a way you can frame this.
Come on now.
Strategy.
Listen.
See, I've been educating myself. Like, there's a way you can frame this. There's a way you can put this together where it's now clear to even someone that doesn't have your passion.
Right.
To see why this is important for our community, why this is important for Canada. Like, Canada claims they're diverse, but they don't actually have the resources to support said diverse groups. So,
right.
I'm telling you, that program has been amazing.
I love that. And that's why I'm saying, like, you really, like, I have attended these programs. I understand what it means to build the business plan and everything. And I've taken that route. But I would say most of my energy goes towards the passion and peace, where I'm like, okay, I see that there is a business here. I see there's an opportunity here. I'm a creative, and then I'll hand it over to someone who's on the more business side. I do have a team now. Thank you, Jesus and Lord.
How long were you doing it by yourself for?
I was doing it for myself, by myself, for the community. Yes. I was doing it by myself like 5 years. Yeah. And the thing is, I think with the way tech has made everything, I could possibly do it by myself. But I think when it comes to the scaling piece,
yes,
that piece I hand over, because I'm more so finding the opportunity, building the foundation, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? We're good to go. Take it over.
Yeah, it's also about efficiency, because you have strengths and other people also have strengths that you may not be strong in that area as well. And I remember even building SoPlugged from the beginning, I tried to do everything myself. I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, our first website, I designed and developed it.
It was brilliant, actually.
Call me women in tech.
Right.
But after a while, I was like, you know what? I'd rather not learn how to code because I want to run a business.
Right.
When I know somebody that knows how to do this. I'd rather
100%
focus on something that I like, just talking.
Do you know what I love about what you said? Is that you've identified that this is something that you love doing and you're great at, and you rather put more time. The reason we at the Kscope went with the passionate route at first is because we identify with entrepreneurs who are passionate first. And then what we also did as well was we found easy ways to implement tech or to implement like a digital aspect to your business. We said, okay, you know what? Let's make it easy for you, because we know that when you start thinking about the scalability of your business, you might get stuck.
Yeah.
And more likely people end up getting stuck and they just don't move forward. So we're like, okay, you know what? With what you have right now, let us help you build an online experience that's easy to follow. Because it could be as easy as, okay, fine, my business helps students. Okay. But I want to build this website that's going to cater to them. I'm going to have this. Exactly. But the website creation time frame is 4 to 5 weeks, even months. How about you build a very quick landing page or a form that will collect the information easily? So we look for ways to simplify that. This is what I want to do. We have that discovery call with you, and then we look for ways that you can start now and collect valuable information, even get clients, so that you're able to save money and invest towards that big option. So that's why we've ran on this whole passion side, because we've done it and it's worked, right? So we want to get to that point. We want our entrepreneurs to get to that point where they're like, listen, I have the funds now. I have the opportunity to just hand this over to someone, or I have access to, because you can have access to the knowledge piece, but you don't have the time to actually invest.
Yep.
Exactly. Because okay, fine. I know about this program, but I work full time. So when am I going to have time to learn this program? Right. So I think being able to look at what you currently have, the cards I currently have, and how can I play them effectively. Right. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yvonne is drops mic. No. What you're saying, it makes a lot of sense, because you have two types of people. Right. People that want to have their building ready yesterday. Or people that would rather gather the stones, gather this, gather the money. But as they're gathering all that stuff, they have a shed. Right up front,
come on.
So that if people are looking for them, they can still connect with them there. Yeah. They're not just leaving it empty and losing all those opportunities.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, they have something in place. Yeah, it's faulty. Yeah, the stairs break a bit, but they need that for when their building is ready.
Yep.
Now they transfer people to this even better experience.
Right.
But a lot of people are just what is the point of a shed? I'd rather, if it's not this glorious, magnificent thing. Let's do the glorious and magnificent thing. Oh, but I don't have the budget.
Come on.
It's okay, well, what do you want? Do you want to eat, or do you want to be eating?
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. And I don't fault people when they get there, because I've been there. And one lesson I use from my walk with God to help me when I'm, engaging with business owners is to remember that grace is needed. sometimes I really, really want to do something, but there's just there's a battle happening.
Yep.
But I think in reference to business owners, sometimes they really, really want to do something, but they're struggling either with some sort of fear or some sort of like PTSD that they're going through. I've tried this before. It never works, so them even wanting to even listen to you before you even get them on the phone call. It's really the grace of God. Because someone had actually reached out to me to say, oh, Yvonne, like you work with African business. How did you do it? I said, with the grace of God. With the grace of God.
Sometimes I have to check myself. I'm like, Nina, you're not running mad, are you?
Listen. No, but I think it's given... People are really pretty much equipped and empowered to take on specific tasks. I believe that 100%. Because there's some tasks that you give to me that I'm just like, I'm not doing this because for the life of me, I really don't understand. Yeah. But if you want me to have a conversation with someone that would take hours because I'm trying to understand their business and I'm trying to help them build a pathway, I will do that hours. But you tell me to work out for hours. Tell me to work out for hours. I'm like,
3 reps.
But like, come on, I can work out my brain cells.
I'm screaming.
I
can work on my jaw.
I can work it. Yeah. No, but basically, like, there's some tasks. Like, if you want me to, like, I can build something. I can, like, our website as well, building like tools. I've been able to understand, okay, this is what you should use for this, and we build out a great experience. But you want me to start thinking about
logistics?
No, bro. No. Everyone is really pretty much given. Yeah. I know the one that God has given to me.
100%.
So yeah, like I love our business owners and we're gonna thrive. Listen, this whole marketplace situation where we're coming in, I'm already seeing a generation of Black entrepreneurs who are killing it. They're coming into the market. They're getting the right support. They're getting the right funding. They're not even stressing too much, and they're building products that are lasting.
100%.
So it's something to notice. Like, no, I'm always going to the Bible, but
no, feel free.
But I wanted to. There's a scripture that says, God says, I'm about to do a new thing. Would you not perceive it? Would you not be aware of it? I can see it. I can perceive. I see that there's like a landscape of business owners just like thriving. It just goes to show that opportunities are actually easier now to attain, 100%. Right? You just have to know who to talk to, and you just have to have that mindset of wanting to start again. And what I mean by that is there are times where you're going to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired. It's giving me a headache. Just start again. Just keep starting.
Keep rebranding. I'm always popping up with new things I'm doing anyway. Just like, oh, today is this, tomorrow is that. But like, it's not easy. Like, I always have to show. I'm like, people will be like, Nina has called me again. Which one is she doing? Right. And I have people come up to me, which one are you doing now? And I'm just like, listen, this is what we're doing now.
I love that. Like, this is it. Since you really want to know.
But like, that is me just like putting that out there. But like internally, like I'm cringing. I'm struggling to let go of what I thought would work.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing process. But like the more you do it, like the more you get used to, pivoting and just like rebranding.
And you do it quicker the next time.
Yep.
The more you actually engage with something, the more you are willing to receive it when it comes another time. It's like waiting. Have you ever like waited for something so much that when you finally get it, you build some level of like restraint? So when another waiting season comes, you're like, bro, I've been here. I've done this before.
Yeah,
100%. So I'm good. So you build that stamina for the next season, because there will be seasons. You have to keep innovating. I don't know one brand that has not either implemented something new or switched up their
rebranded.
Nope, I don't know of any.
You always see them popping out, and people make it seem like it's a mistake, but like, people are learning from it. Like, big brands do this, small brands do this. It's not limited to small businesses alone. Bigger brands, you see them, they change. Simply Fin just did a new switch up, and I'm like, what app is this?
Listen to me.
But like, they're like, this is us now.
Yeah.
Like, and the people that are gonna accept it are gonna accept it.
Yeah, and there will be a lot of people who are gonna 100%. Accept it.
This podcast is brought to you by SoPlugged, an online directory of Black-owned businesses in Canada. We also work with entrepreneurs to improve their digital presence with custom-made websites, social media advertising, and product photography. To learn more about SoPlugged or to list your Black-owned business for free, visit www.soplugged.com. But I wanted to talk to you. I think there was a part where I know Kscope had a bit of a rebrand at some point when you introduced like your marketplace.
And, oh my God.
Also offering services to business owners. What was that process like for you?
Girl, so the pandemic had hit. A lot of businesses were going online. We had built, like we were in the process of rebranding our our online directory. So I was now thinking very quickly, and I can't remember who I was talking to at the time, but I was pretty much just having a conversation with someone, and I said, I want to make it easy now because business owners are going online. They're like, okay, order from me, call me, WhatsApp me, DM for prices.
Don't get me started, please.
And we realized that was not really working. So my understanding was that, okay, fine, we want to build a directory, but is it possible for us to get businesses to get listed and start selling? And then literally, I think it was the Holy Spirit who just dropped a shopping directory. I'm like, what is that? I literally Googled it. And of course, Wikipedia will have. Wikipedia has everything.
It does.
Listen, I'm like, there's a thing like this? I mean, there really isn't nothing new under the sun. So I Googled it and I'm like, okay, you know what? That's when I had reached out to Carousel. Carousel is like an online.
Maggie?
No, Carousel. It's like a different. Okay. I know Charis Maggie though.
Okay.
Hey, girl. No, but Carousel is this platform. It's like a web development platform, and they help you build your idea from scratch. So I'm telling them that, hey, we want to build a directory, but we want people to sell. The understanding was that we want people to just start selling as easy as 1, 2, 3. You get listed and you add your products and you're good to go. And when we had done that, we had branded ourselves as Yellow Pages, but for African businesses, but with the option to shop. And it went well. We actually found a logistics person who was helping us with delivery. Business owners were selling food and they would open at specific times. It was like very, very interesting to me how we just thought about it, implemented it. People started getting lessons, people started selling, and business owners started making money. People were getting food delivered. And again, it was something that I just thought about on the fly. And because I wasn't thinking long term, I didn't look at all the different things that could possibly deter us. Logistics was chaotic because obviously some people may not want to deliver food on time. I now looked at the business and said, okay, you know what? This is a great idea, but we do not have the manpower to take it on, and the funding to take it on. And at that time I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not able to invest time in applying to all these grant programs because
it's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job. But it worked for a whole year. We had introduced a directory. People were getting listed. They were adding their products. It was pretty much a learning experience for us as well at the Kscope. And then business owners were super excited. People were so happy. On Fridays, we actually had to come up with marketing a lot of the marketing we did were organic. But we're getting people buying. So pretty much, long story short, the market was very...
There's demand for it.
Yeah, there's demand because people were, building their platforms and they didn't really know I'm coming online. What do I do? Just get listed, have your own storefront, start selling.
Yeah.
Then the whole idea of how do you file your books? What is it going to look like? Because we're getting...
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. There were lots of things that when you don't really sit down and plan, you don't really foresee a lot of things. It was a great idea, a plan and all, and it was working, but a lot of business owners were not making enough money to start filing. So we had to now take on, because we were making more, because we would take their revenue and pay them out. Yeah. So then we now saw that as an opportunity to educate the business owners to be able to know that this is what you do when it's time to file HST, right? We will be collecting HST. You just want to make sure that you're good when it's time for you to balance your books. So we saw that as an opportunity. We reached out to a service provider who was an accountant, and she came and educated everyone.
Right.
So it was a very, very interesting experience because it was so fast. Like people were like going online. We're like, how can we cater to the influx right now?
Right.
And it worked for a while. And then the logistic partners we had started to die down. They closed down their business. It was chaotic. And then we realized that, okay, you know what? Maybe this pivot should take a backseat for now. So we had to put that in the backseat. And then we now focus mostly on the initial goal, which was like connecting people to the experiences, which we are doing still right now. And we found other platforms that actually offer free websites, and we've like, started advertising those. So they offer free websites. They offer branding help, marketing help. So we're like, you know what? Let's be the middleman. We've done well being the middleman. And I believe the shopping directory served its purpose for that season. It was perfect. Businesses that really wanted to sell, they were selling. So it worked for that period of time, for that influx. And we got access to them, to cater to them and all. But my business style is just very interesting. And God has just been, like I mentioned, like at the forefront of everything. And we're like, our team is growing, thanks to God. Because we just might be. We just might be, because we're looking for representation in like these different cities that we're going to be going to. So yeah, long story short, the shopping directory was perfect. It was as easy as getting listed and adding your products and start selling. Businesses needed to understand like the bookkeeping piece side of things for them to continue. We're like, if you're A-okay, we're A-okay to keep, selling and advertising and marketing for you. So.
Oh, I really love that you mentioned that you found what your purpose was, what your space was, being the middleman, connecting people to like what they want to be connected to.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people, like, maybe not a lot of people, but something I find happen is like when, someone launches a shopping directory and it's a success, they're just like, okay, let's keep going. But then they don't even take a step back to be like, is this what I should be doing? Like, it being a success now, does that mean like in the long run, it's still, but you made a good point saying like, I looked at what worked in the past and I decided to stick with that because like that showed longevity. Like, that was not just like a off the whim stuff.
Oh my goodness. I love that you said that. We looked at all the different assets we had, shopping directory, our website, which is connecting people, our socials of just like, making connections. And we saw that the only one that was scalable was the one that had to do with the connections rather than the directory itself, because the directory is perfect, but the shopping piece, the e-commerce piece was what we had downsized on. Right. And we know for a fact, because we offer it through other outlets. Like if we are having an event, yes, we would offer e-commerce because we would sell for you and then we would pay you out. But when it came to like the logistics piece of things, logistics is a beast. Listen,
it is.
Listen, all of you in the logistics field, I caught cap.
I tried to launch, funny enough, when I think this was like 1 year into launching SoPlugged, I was like, I want to launch another business. I'm looking for that challenge.
Right.
SoPlugged was on like autopilot at that point. So I was like, it's just at cruise. Like, I'm looking for something else. And I was like, let me start like selling home decor pieces because that's like a hobby of mine.
Yeah.
I love, like, decorating spaces.
What else is that laugh, girl? Stop.
I got like a domain. I got like a website because me, it's got to be online.
Girl.
Time for the logistics piece. I was like, okay, these products are coming in. Like we've got like a supplier for certain things. I'm just like, okay, so how am I supposed to be handling this?
Bro.
Okay, I order from the supplier. Now I have to give it to people. Oh, like, how does this work? Or do I just send it? I'm just like, you know what? After like a month or so, I didn't even launch the business, funny enough. Or did I? Actually, I did. I was just about to.
Right.
And then we looked at the logistics. We're just like, you know what? Maybe later.
Maybe later is good.
Let's put a pin on it. And like, I still have the domain. I still have everything. I'm just like, let's put a pin on it because like I was like, okay, like I'm doing something great now. Let's do something else. Actually, this is not my strong suit.
No, it's good. I feel like it's good that you took those steps because now you know.
Now I know. Like, now I know that, like, maybe, and for me, my thinking was maybe later when I can hire people that have this as a strong suit and they can do it. Because I'm a soft babe. Like, I need people to understand. I don't like stress. I don't like taking on heavy things. Like, I'd rather outsource, but like at the time I didn't have the resources to.
Right.
So I was not trying to do by myself. I was like, actually,
sis,
no, today. Not today.
If you're not automating
it can't be scalable.
It can't.
And so tell me about your Toronto picnic. It's in August?
August 5th. Oh my gosh. Okay. Like, I'm not sure when this is gonna drop.
Should I drop it before that?
No. But if it's dropping after, just, look at the views, and tell me how we did.
Yeah.
Honestly, the picnic last year, it was great. We didn't really anticipate the weather we had. But one thing we really loved was the fact that we had a lot of people wanting to come out. We had like over 150 signups. We even had more people registering. I'm not even joking. So this time around, we're like, we cannot sleep on the number. We have to have a lot more people. And we're actually going to make it like a proper like picnic, but also cookout because we want to have more vendors. We want to have people to have opportunity to buy. We want to give that suya spots vibe, but then you also have access to like small chops on the side, the rice pieces. If you want to dive into like some native stuff, we want to get. So the thing too that we normally do is we want to make sure, not my accent switch. We want to make sure that
switch it.
We want to make sure that we actually have access to different vendors because our picnics are known for people to just taste the African, different food. And then when you buy in like tasting sizes. Exactly. So now we're like, okay, you know what? You can pre-order because it'll be cheaper. But when you show up, when you want to buy, because our picnic in London, too, people wanted to buy a lot more food. We told the vendors, just come with more food just in case. And people were buying. One time, one vendor was like, oh, I want to make sure that I'm not selling any of your food. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Do you want to catch?
Like, she had already sold out. Wow.
It was great.
Wow.
It was so great. I think one thing I love when we do picnics is that the vendors are so happy. We say, hey, you know what? It's an opportunity for you to get your business in front of people.
100%.
But not just that. You're guaranteed sales because people actually want to try out the food and it's an affordable price, right? Yeah. And then they get to taste it and they get to choose to, patronize you after. So it's such an amazing experience. So for Toronto, August 5th, we're going to have games. We're going to make it like a shopping experience piece where you can come and go if you want, but we're going to have conversations ongoing if you want to listen in. We're going to have like the part where you can play games and stuff. But just come out and experience the culture. Okay. Yeah.
I was going to take a trip that weekend, but I'm like,
girl, oh my gosh. Where are you going to go? Tell me where you're going to go. Okay, Montreal. Montreal is cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's cute.
Because it's my birthday that weekend. So. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my birthday's on the 8th.
We need to have like a proper pack.
Yeah, just for me.
This is Nina's birthday box. Don't touch it.
But it's funny because I think sometime 2 years ago, so we were talking about like having some sort of marketplace where people can just come and share. I still have that idea in the back of my head, just like nagging me, like you said you were gonna do this. Like,
listen, the market. Everyone loves a marketplace.
100%.
I would go to a marketplace.
It's the logistics that's holding me back, like,
sis.
I
know that. I know the feeling. So this is going to look like a marketplace in a way, but we're curating it to be an experience.
100%.
So, because we're going to have a lot of vendors, but at the same time, we want to make it like, I don't know, like a market. Like, Lagos markets where you go and you
have options, exactly. Yeah.
But you're still eating and everyone's chatting. You're making new friends. You're learning about what's happening in the community. You're also playing games. Like, this also super chill. So we're making like a spot for the day, like 7 hours. You can, I don't think anyone's going to stay that long, but you can come and go, play games, win stuff. But the marketplace is incorporated, but we're curating it to be an experience. So I think you should logistics hand it over to an event planner.
I swear.
Listen.
I think for me, I'm also trying to get, and maybe this is something you can talk about, but I'm also trying to like partner with brands. And I know you've done a lot of that collaboration. And that's like, I've done it with people I know, but I want to like take a bigger leap to like partner with like brands that, you know, can connect with their audience.
Right.
Because we have like an audience that is valuable to somebody out there.
100%.
One brand out there
100%
to connect. And can you talk about like how you navigate like brand partnerships and collaborations like that with your events?
Partnerships is the new black. Like it's the new black. It's I feel like when we change our mindset from competition to like opportunity, then we can take partnerships very, you know, intentionally. There were times where I thought about it like, oh my gosh, like we're doing sort of like the same thing. But then I'm like, bigger companies have done it. There was a Burger King and McDonald's collaboration one time. I said, hold on. Why can't we do this? What is happening?
We absolutely can.
Right? But it's always like, I think the understanding is what is the purpose? What are we both bringing? What are we both trying to get out of this? Right? So, and then also realizing that we're all part of a big network. Right? There's some times where you might not have a service that someone needs and you already know that I provide it. And I do that all the time. I'm like, oh, we don't actually do this, but our friends at SoPlugged does it. Visit SoPlugged for that. So partnerships, I think the first things first is just switching your mindset to understand that there's an opportunity here. And I want to benefit from this opportunity. And I want to make sure that that brand also benefits from mine. You had to look at what we have in common, like what I can give you and what you can give me. Let's say SoPlugged and Kscope do an event right now.
You're just like, if that happens, I'm just like, I'm done here. My work here is done. Exactly. Thank you all for having me. I can now retire. Like, I've made it. Like,
exactly. No, but let's say we do an event together. I know SoPlugged is very strong in empowering entrepreneurs. I know the Kscope is all about the African experience. It's a match made in heaven.
It's synergy,
Pretty much. So SoPlugged is going to come and talk to the entrepreneurs, like, here's something that you never thought about, you know, starting a business. And then we're going to come with the experience piece of like, here are some African vendors in your city that you can patronize and buy food from. So there is always something to leverage. It's just trying to take your mind. And then obviously there's some collaborations that are like, are you serious?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Like, come on, babes.
Yeah, you can
Chelsea,
do better.
Come on now. Like,
Chelsea,
come on, no. Like, are you like, 100%. No, let's not. Yeah. So it's all about understanding. I do see why people might think there's competition where it's a directory, but we have to look at what the strengths are. Everyone has a directory. Literally. True. Everyone, if you have a database, you pretty much have like it's like a lean directory because it's not like sitting on some sort of platform. But what else are you providing, right? And what do people know you for? People know Kscope for African. If you're an African, reach out to Kscope. People know SoPlugged for businesses. If you're a business and you're not on SoPlugged, what are you doing, bro?
I ask this question all the time. People are like, oh, I don't have a website from them. I'm like, actually, you don't have to be a website.
Right.
That's like a common misconception.
Yeah, well, what is that? What is that answer? I don't have a website. What is that?
What are you?
I don't understand that answer.
Like, I also don't, but like, I'm just trying to be nice in the moment. I'm just like, oh, that's totally fine, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can you come here? I don't have a website.
Okay. Why not?
Yeah, okay. We'll leave that for another day.
Another day. You know, I'm trying not to choose violence a lot lately.
Thank God. Thank God. We're cute and gorgeous.
Like I said, I'm a soft babe, so I want to take things soft. But like, honestly, like SoPlugged and Kscope collaboration, it's just like one.
It's a very quick thing. Away. It's legit.
One thought away.
I'm ready when you are.
Same. Actually, I feel like this year I've just been focused on like grants, and like you said, it's like a full-time job. I literally will spend
tell us about that.
Yeah, like I've applied. I haven't gotten any, but like I've applied for like I'm gonna say 4 grants, and it's like a full-time job. Like you start even like the questions they ask sometimes, it's almost like, okay, like what am I actually doing? Like they ask me like, well, there's one I recently applied for. How are you positively impacting the Black community? Now on a good day, I know I am. No, bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you. On a good day, I know I am positively impacted. But now that there's a grant attached to this question, I'm now like, how am I?
How am I?
But
really?
Shout out to ChatGPT because it has been saving my life and like my productivity. Like,
listen,
it just went up.
Listen,
but it's still difficult though. Like
it is. You have to know how to. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm really trusting and hoping that something is gonna come through because I really want to like do another like event or a space to just create another space for entrepreneurs to come and learn and network. But
I love that.
Money, like
Plugged in. I was there.
She was, and it was great.
It was amazing.
It was, actually, Plugged in really gave me the confidence I needed to like take that leap of faith. Like, because before Plugged in, I was like, I don't know. Like, I know people that want this, but like, I don't know if they want it that much, right? And Plugged in happened, and I was like, let's just do it small. Like, let's just something intimate, and it worked out. But like, at the back of my mind, I'm like, you could have done it bigger, girl. Like, but I didn't have the confidence I needed to like step up and be like, listen, this is exclusive. This is how many people. If you don't get it, you don't get it. This is how much I'm charging. This is the value I'm bringing. This is why you need to be a Plugged in.
Right.
But I was still like, I was, and I think it's like baby steps, right? You're learning.
Yeah.
You're learning how to put yourself out there, how to create these experiences. But then the more you do it, the more you get confident. The 100%. More you're like, you're learning from your mistakes and you're creating better experiences for people. So. All this to say, look out for the next thing.
Listen, you guys better follow. So,
look out for the next thing. But before I let you go, I mean, you've talked about the picnic, you've talked about Kscope. What is your biggest challenge? I want to say running Kscope, and like, how do you deal with it?
Wow, of all the questions,
because so far you've made me feel like this is it. Like
I know. Oh my gosh, I would say. And this is just me being super, super vulnerable. I would say one of my biggest challenges has been myself.
I felt that.
Has been myself because there've been times where I have a creative block and it's such a very wicked rut to come out of.
Jeez.
Like I'm stuck. And the worst part is with creative blocks is that when you're in it for too long,
you start to run.
Wow. Not the bars.
No, because I can relate. Like,
yeah. No. But when you're in it for too long, you not even the worry comes from, I don't know what to do it comes from, I don't know what to do to, it's been too long. I did something anyway. So why do I even try again? 100%. So it's just a very wicked place to be. But that's why I always say God has been faithful. I know Kscope is about to like blow
This
up.
Is your year.
This is my year.
100%.
Like, I know Kscope is about to blow up because I realized who, like, my identity. Like, it's. I think most times that's why it's good to have a system in place. It's good to have a workflow because it's just that once this starts, this has to be the ending. But when you have like a system, but it's based off of how you're feeling, this would never start. So this never happens. So when, like for me now, I'm like, okay, I know my identity in Christ. Because yeah, of course, there'll be some days that will come out. I'll be like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm not feeling this. What is this about?
Right. Why don't you do that all the time? No, but there would come a time where it's like, okay, I know who I am in Christ. I'm deeply rooted. Today is not, my emotions are like all over the place, but I'm trying to piece it exactly. But I have a system in place, and I'm like all of this has to happen, and it's automated. I think automating has been one of my saving graces. I would just set something up, and I have an assistant who's amazing. Like she does such a great job. Like, and she would just message me. Sometimes she messages me, and I'm like, doing this all working. Yeah. But she would just say, I'm doing this, by the way. I'm like, okay, sure. And she puts, stuff out there. So my biggest challenge has been myself. And God willing, I have overcome that now. And the brand is about to explode.
Period.
And I mean, there are other challenges as well. Like when you promise to do something and you don't do it. I'm going to send you that email tomorrow.
Tomorrow comes around.
that email was not sent tomorrow.
In fact, it wasn't sent the next day either.
Oh my God. Why is it like that? Why do we say things and they don't happen? Why? Oh my gosh, never again. This time I'm agreeing with you. You know, if I say I'm sending you an email tomorrow, I'm sending an email even the day before.
I would even schedule it the day before just so like I don't have to think about it.
Listen, I will schedule it the day. I'm telling you tomorrow just so that I can manage the expectations. 100%. I think being able to be intentional about you, how you focus your work ethic, right? Because being passionate about something is great, but if you're not disciplined, you won't really go far, right? 100%. So, and God has been faithful. Like I said, he's been keeping the brand in front of people's faces. People talk about Kscope. People say, you don't know what you've done. Like, oh Lord, have mercy. Really and truly. You don't know what you've done. That. You know, so just do better. Sorry.
She's about to preach. Yvonne said, "Give me a mic. I need to preach." Lord. No, but I love that because I can see the conviction in you, and I can see the testimonies in you as well. So, I really love to hear your story about how you built Kscope. I know it's not an easy feat. People see the glamour. People see like the good stuff. They don't see like the doubt or the questioning,
the questioning
or the struggling, and the doubt. Like they don't see that. But ever since I became an entrepreneur, I now see it. Like I look at other businesses and I'm like,
you would be very excited to support them because you're like, you don't even know what they're going through right now.
I swear, like you don't know what people are going through, and then somebody will be there asking you, "Is this your last price? Like, is this? Can do you cheaper?" I'm like, "Do you understand?"
You know what? I always answer those questions very, very normal. Oh, this is my last price. Period. Because if I try to add emotions, I'm gonna let God fix it.
Yeah.
Because if
he's left to me, you can meet me outside. Like, no, I feel you. I feel you 100%. Yeah. And so Kscope is happening. Kscope's Toronto picnic is happening August 5th. Yep. Be there or be square.
Right.
And you can find Kscope on
Instagram at THEKSCOPE, the Kscope.
Well, where did that name come from, by the way?
OMG, how did we not even talk about that?
That's true, because I always wanted to ask you.
Crazy. I always tell. I love it. It's perfect. Me. So when I first started the brand, it was called the Kaleidoscopian.
Oh.
Yes. Revelation, yes.
Okay.
And how I came up with that was that if you look into Kaleidoscope, you see lots of different colors and patterns. And I liken that to African print. Our African print has lots of different colors and patterns. And I was a Kaleidoscopian.
Period.
Right. And it was deep back then. And then I realized a lot of people were struggling with the name. The Kaleidoscope. I'm like, they're like, bro, way too many syllables. I'm like, say less. So we put out a poll on Twitter when we were on Twitter, and people had voted the Kscope, and that's how we got here.
All right. Yeah. I love that. So they can find you at the Kscope.
Yes, the Kscope.co. You can also Google the Kscope, and then you would see us on the first page.
Period. Because the SEO is great.
Right. Girl.
Should we get into that?
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like, oh shoot, girl. Yeah, SEO. No, but I think I'm the creative entrepreneur. So you probably get SEO from someone else.
Yeah.
Another guest.
Yeah, another guest. Yeah, we'll bring someone on to talk about that. But no, this has been great. Honestly, I always have a great time when I'm talking to you anyway.
I know. It's so crazy. Like, I was like, Nina, okay, let's go.
We always have a great time when we're chatting. I still remember your mixer from last year with, what's the name of that company again? Flurry?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, you did.
That was a great time. I had a great time.
I love that. I love that you came. The food as well.
Great. Oh, DJ was great.
Okay.
What's her name? Revy B. She was great.
Okay.
The vibes were great. In fact, one of the guests on this podcast, Tokes, I met her at that event. She was there. Oh my gosh, right?
yes.
That's where I met her.
Okay. So
wow. I always have a great time.
Give it up for Kscope.
Yeah, period. Like, Kscope is the Kscope. Like,
I love that. Kscope is the Kscope.
I love that. Thank you so much, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Do you have any other thing you want to say before we go?
I would say your dreams are valid. It sounds cliche, but no, they really are. Just keep trying. Just keep starting, actually. That's what I'm trying to get at. Keep starting, because you would actually stop at some point because you're upset or you're worried, or you just keep starting.
100%.
You can start something new. You can start what you've already did. Just keep at it. And if you need help, if you just want to talk, you can reach out to me at Yvonne Ben, YVONNE_BEN on Instagram. Let's just talk. I feel like you can gain a lot from a conversation, 100%. So yeah.
Thank you. And you can gain a lot from listening to this podcast.
Listen, yes. And be sure to tune into the
Business Mindset Podcast. Every Monday, new episodes every Monday. And we'll see you next Monday. Thank you so much.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.